right, so welcome back, and today we are actually going to work on a house plant. We are going to repot my Pilea Peperomidodies, let's see how you say that, Peperomidodies, Chinese money plant. So I purchased it in this itty bitty pot, and when I got it, it had three fronds, leaves, stems. Not sure what you would call them, but I am going to repot it today because I'm having to water it at least once a day in this tiny pot. And I was going to wait a few more weeks, but I think it's close enough, and it's good enough to do it today. First thing we're going to do is take the spikes out. So I do have the fiskars soaking in some alcohol, which I am going to take out to go ahead and dry off, just in case they have any dead roots in there or anything. I've got my distilled water in my measuring cup that we're going to use in just a few moments. The mix that I'm using is just general potting soil, household potting soil. I've got some perlite in here, and I thought I'd throw some charcoal in here. I figure I'm using it on the orchids. I'll try it on this too. And I can't give you a ratio because I don't do, like, I know some people's like 50% of this, 30% of that, 20% of something else. I do my potting mix kind of like I do cooking until it looks good. So it just kind of looks good right now. Sometimes I will wet this. Like if I was going to be repotting an African violet, I go ahead and I wet this and make it moist to put it in. But because I want to make sure to fill this pot, I'm not going to do that. And I am going to put a couple of rocks in the bottom just to help keep the soil from falling completely out. And then once we're done, I'm just going to put it in this little decorative tray that's also got rocks at the bottom, so any extra drainage is not sitting in water. Plus it'll kind of, I think, look good once this gets bigger. That's kind of why I had it in there. I think it'll look nice and pretty in there. Plus, I know I'm going a little bit bigger than most people would on the pot size, but it's growing really quickly, and with spring coming, I have a feeling it's going to grow even more. I have it in a eastern facing window, and since I put it there, it's really taken off. And the little tie around here is just because, see, it's the bottom of it is here, and then the first leaf is way up here. So I'm going to pot it kind of low and hope I don't need the little support anymore. So let me take that off first here. And I've seen other videos of this plant, and from what I've seen, it's going to get kind of big with the right care. And by kind of big, I mean huge. Hopefully, once it gets to be there, I'll have the space for it, but we shall see. I wonder if this will just be easier if I just cut it. Oh, you know what? Let's just take it out of the pot and move this out of the way. And of course, I've got my little tray I'm putting all my debris in. And because it's kind of a smaller pot, I'm not really too concerned about cleaning it off. All right, and then we'll just set that off to the side. And I'm wondering if I should just leave it in this. I think I will. I'm not going to disturb the roots because they look really good. And just leave it in this, and then just up pot it basically. Yeah, soil still smells nice and fresh as I sniff it up my nose. So we'll leave that wrap around it for right now. And we'll get a little bit of this and put it in there. You know, I said like I do my cooking. It's funny because I'm using a mixing bowl, which is I literally bought at the Dollar Tree, to mix up my potting mix, whether it be for orchids or for houseplants, and I'm using a little cooking spoon, so I guess we're cooking up a plant. Okay, let's spread that around a little bit. And let's see, let's put it out right there in the center, and then take the spoon out, and we'll just start pouring it around the sides. Here we go. There we go. Let's just put that back down. And I'm sitting on my table again, guys. I find it really useful to set my stuff down so I'm not knocking things over like we did with the orchid, the Cattleya, which one of them is doing really well. The roots are starting to take off. The mother plant is, I don't think, going to make it. I think she is going to kill over if she doesn't grow some more roots. But I'm still watering her and taking care of her in the hopes that she recovers. And then the original one that got cut off because of the rotten bulbing, it's actually got the new growth that is taking off really well. We'll do a video on that in a couple of weeks, just kind of an update. See how that works out. And the Zygopetalum the Zygopetalum type that my husband bought me that we were trying to save, did not make it. It just, within 2 days, it just rotted off. I thought we'd gotten that rot, and I guess we didn't. So I will have to see if I can find another one that is either similar or close to. So, all right, so now what we're going to do is move that to the side. And we are going to take, I use distilled water for my houseplants and my orchids. And I am going to, you know what, let's put it, move over here. There we go. I'm gonna let it kind of drain into this one here. I kind of wanted to put it in this pot here. I just think those little hearts are so very cute. But it was not gonna work out, so, because this is too big. But we're just going to pour just a little bit of water through and moisten the soil so it kind of can settle down a little bit. And I'll slowly water this over the next couple of days. I don't want to give it too much water at the beginning, just because it was used to drying out rather quickly. I don't want to have the roots sitting in wet soil. So I'm just doing this to kind of settle the soil and get any air pockets or anything that might be in there out. And then I may have to top it off in the next day or so, because the water's just now starting to drip through. So what we'll do then is we'll just set it in here, since it's got the rocks at the bottom. And let's see what this looks like if we take this off. I guess it would help if I put it where you can see, huh? Let's see what this looks like if we take it off. See how droopy they get. Because I'd really like to have this without the tie on there. Undo this here. Let's see. Uh-oh, got that leaf cutting there. Where are we at? There it is. All right. Oops. There we go. All right, let's see. And kind of gotten tangled up in there with the new pups coming out. It says pups, but I think the pups are more when it starts making babies from the bottom. I think it's just new growth right now. But I can get it to unhook here. Goodness, who would have thought that a plant tie would be so much trouble? There we go. All right, so we will just leave it like that. Leave it like that. I'll put it back in its spot that it's used to sitting in. And I do have my tag. I'll put today's date on it with the repot. And then we will just see how it does. Hopefully these will kind of perk back up. But at least it's a little bit lower now. It doesn't have that long stalk at the bottom to help support it. And with spring coming, it should just shoot out really well. With these, even if I didn't use distilled water for everything, I would definitely use distilled water or filtered water, just because these are really sensitive. From what I understand, if you use tap water, even if it's filtered, sometimes what they'll do is they'll get little holes and little spots in them and just not look good. So I just use the distilled water on these and all of my other plants. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, give it a like and share, and we will see you on the next one.